Wakenya wameshuka na mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka. Yaani Kalonzo asile asinywe asiote moto.
Oh, Kalonzo has a big problem. He has such a big problem. No one is losing his mojo, what you'd call a political lack, faster than Kalonzo Musyoka.
Kalonzo is lazy, functional lazy. Yes, functional lazy. Like ni kama nyoka mekula.
And maybe he wants to blame a lot of people for this. But according to me, I think he should blame himself. Or maybe the gods don't simply like his face.
Lord, the giver of life to a nation and wisdom to its leaders. Don't abandon me, oh Lord. At least show me who needs a running mate.
Even the chance to deputize Edwin Sifuna is now no longer on the table. We're not talking about him being president. Him deputizing Edwin Sifuna is no longer on the table.
This nigga is too lazy, man. Andaka tu apewe vitu tu on a silver platter. Ona venye akina Sifuna wanajituma.
I hear it has been given to a much younger, much smarter, and a more good-looking person than Kalonzo Musyoka.
If the opposition swallows their greed, all of them, and gives Sifuna the presidential candidate, and takes Jimmy Wanjigi as a deputy president, that is the new Kenya.
And I think it's beautiful. Kalonzo Musyoka deserves every bad thing that is coming his way. Now, before you attack me in the comment section, I actually have good reasons as to why I believe the way I do. I think you should hear me out. If you love this kind of content, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. Now let's get to the video.
Ndugu yangu Kalonzo anangoja apewe kura. Watu wakae tu chini waseme okay, but you are the senior most here. Okay, Kalonzo, you look like you are not a bad person. Can you run?
Hii kura yetu kupata ni kazi. First, you demonstrate ya kwamba tukiwa na wewe we can win. Then tuongee.
Let us not kid ourselves. Something has actually changed. Maybe quietly, maybe slowly, but also dramatically. A year ago, if you asked anyone in this beautiful republic who should replace William Ruto in 2027, the answer would have been unanimous. The answer would have been obvious.
Kalonzo Musyoka akuwe ndio mgombea pekee wa upinzani. Mimi Rigathi Gachagua na wafuasi wangu ambaye ni mamilioni nitaunga yeye mkono na kumfanyia campaign.
Kalonzo Musyoka was always the top answer. He looked inevitable. He looked like it was finally his turn.
Kalonzo is the next president of the Republic of Kenya. Yes.
What about today? How is the conversation today? The conversation today feels totally different. His numbers are falling. His momentum feels weaker. And honestly, I've never seen a politician lose his political luck this fast.
Huyu jamaa bana, wazake wanajituma, kina Sifuna, kina Gachagua, they are busy campaigning. Yeye yuko Karen, ni kuota moto.
The question is, what happened? Was Kalonzo Musyoka simply unlucky, or did he completely misread the mood in the country? Because we know that politics is not just about waiting for your turn. Politics is also about knowing when the country is actually ready for you.
The question 2027 becomes the question of the other politicians who have refused to exit the stage.
There was a time when people said, Kalonzo for president.
Tushikeni Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka atupeleke Kanaan. Sawa sivyo.
Then that actually changed. People started saying, Kalonzo can become a deputy president to Sifuna. I mean, Sifuna for president and then Kalonzo for deputy president.
For me, my best scenario would be Sifuna deputized by Kalonzo.
That alone should have been very worrying for him, because once people start discussing you as someone's deputy, obviously, obviously they no longer see you as a leader. They've started imagining someone else leading and you following, because if you think about it, deputies follow what the leaders say. He's been a vice president once. Now they want him to be a deputy again. Are they saying he cannot lead, he can only follow?
An Obama-Biden sort of model.
Yeah. But funny enough, that conversation did not even last. Now, people aren't even mentioning Kalonzo Musyoka. Instead, a different combination is actually beginning to pop up. People are saying Edwin Sifuna for president, then tumtafutie deputy. And this deputy, they're saying it's going to be Jimmy Wanjigi.
Sifuna comes with a clear political mind of what needs to be done. Okay? And he's very willing to listen. You can hear him say, I don't know much about ABCD. I will work with professionals to understand how to do this better. Wanjigi comes in with the mind of understanding what is ailing the country. Right now, what is ailing us is the debt crisis.
True.
Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying that this is what is going to happen, although I wish that that is what is going to happen. I'm saying this is a conversation that people are having more and more. And that is important because politics begins with conversations. Before we go for rallies, before we go for votes, it starts with an idea.
Ndugu yangu Kalonzo anangoja apewe kura. Watu wakae tu chini waseme okay, but you are the senior most here. Okay, Kalonzo, you look like you are not a bad person. Can you run? Very good. Now, how are you going to run? Oh, you need some money. Oh, give him some money. Oh, okay. So you can't be given everything. Vote, money, and a voice.
So here's my question. When exactly did Kalonzo Musyoka stop being part of that conversation? The conversation about who would become the president. When did Gachagua stop looking at Kalonzo and start looking elsewhere? This reminds me of a story that I heard about Kalonzo Musyoka and how he should have been the president in 2013 before Ruto and Uhuru became presidents.
Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka, who has been in pre-election talks with Kenyatta and Ruto, features nowhere in the preliminary pre-election lineup due to what some crafters of the deal say is his indecisiveness.
I think you should hear this story.
When the indictees now was properly announced and now there were 6 Kenyans who are facing the ICC, we grappled with a number of options. One option was, can we support one candidate who, when he forms government, he can look into our issues. A government that will support the 2 candidates on their case in ICC. So Kalonzo Musyoka was an option. And they went to Kalonzo's home and they said, man, we want to give you the seat, but we must agree. You take the presidential, Uhuru becomes your running mate, William Ruto becomes the leader of majority, we share government, 33%. And, but we have these demands. I mean, we are facing a serious issue. As we are coming to give it to you, so as a good friend of ours, in the event, this ICC story becomes complicated, we have a government that can
is friendly to us.
Yes. So Kalonzo just said, you know, I am a senior counsel. Okay, you guys, and both of you are not lawyers. Your case is not that bad. You know, I have studied Ocampo's papers and evidence. Okay, and you guys, first you confirmed you guys, you'll be jailed. Yeah, and you'll be jailed for not that much, but 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, you should have said 8 years. You should have said even 11 years. He pegged on the term of a president.
2 terms.
2 terms.
So while you're away...
So he said, oh, you guys, 10 years, I'll be the president. And when you come back, I'll hand over to you. So, and so what's wrong if you're in jail for 10 years? That infuriated most of the former president. He walked away and he went outside the gazebo and started puffing his cigarettes.
For the longest time, it felt obvious. If Gachagua wasn't running himself, surely Kalonzo was the most preferred option, right? Then something happened, and this one was actually a shocker. This is something that people saw and they were like, what the heck? Jimmy Wanjigi went to Wamunyoro. Think about that. This is the same Jimmy Wanjigi that we all know was never friends with Wamunyoro. He actually spoke some pretty not so good things about Wamunyoro.
My only problem with his kind of politics is that, to me, that is legacy politics. The politics of tribe coming together and all those things, I think Kenyans should start showing a graduation.
Now, he's making repeat visits in Wamunyoro. Is this coincidence? Maybe. Maybe not. But in politics, very few meetings are just meetings, especially when cameras are there. I mean, They made sure that every time that Wanjigi was at Wamonyoro, there were good photos, good HD photos. So I started asking myself, what if Wamonyoro and James Bond is Team Wanjigi, by the way, were plotting about Mount Kenya's game plan ahead of 2027? Because suddenly, people began talking about this Sifuna Wanjigi ticket.
Is Wanjigi Sifuna ticket surprising to me? No.
Okay.
I think I've told you this before, and I've shared it on other media platforms as well, that the most potent ticket is our Wanjigi Sifuna ticket, or Sifuna Wanjigi ticket, that is supported by the United Opposition.
You have the Mulembe Nation producing the presidential candidate, Sifuna. Then you have Mount Kenya producing the deputy. That is not a small thing. That is the two largest communities producing the deputy and the president. That will be a political earthquake.
So tunataka tukaenda kwa meza, president akitoka western, si ndio? Deputy atoke wapi? Eastern.
And to many Kenyans, it also feels like the answer that we've been looking for a long time. People have been complaining about the same rotation. It's a Kikuyu this time, then a Kalenjin. Then a Kikuyu, then a Kalenjin. Again and again and again.
Na Eastern umepata-pata. Yes. Si ndio? Hao umepata-pata mingi. So sisi tunasema wakati huu tunasema tunataka president atoke wapi? Western.
Sifuna changes that story. Whether you support him or not, he represents a different chapter, a different region, a different conversation.
This young man who has come and who is an orthodox and who can deliver a win to them.
But here is the problem. If Mount Kenya is not producing the president, you'd still want a meaningful representation. I mean, they're coming with a lot of votes and serious votes. You guys will allow. So whatever they ask for, I feel like it's fair. So I want to ask you this. If it is Deputy President Kalonzo Musyoka, does the mountain feel represented? Maybe, maybe not. But if it is Deputy President Jimmy Wanjigi, a successful businessman of Kikuyu origin, someone that many people associate with economy and finance, does that solve more political problems or not? I think the answer is obvious. And maybe, just maybe, Gachagua, the political science graduate from the University of Nairobi, has actually seen that angle too.
Sifuna is coming with the people's will. He has the mandate of the people. And Wanjigi is coming with the know-how. He knows the infrastructure and topography of governance. He knows how to introduce new concepts into the country. And one of them that we credit to him is PPP, that we're now working with.
Here's another thought. Maybe Gachagua has also accepted a different thought, that he is not going to be president this time round. That maybe his biggest strength this time round is not being the president, is becoming the kingmaker.
Hii kura yetu kupata ni kazi. First, you demonstrate ya kwamba tukiwa na wewe we can win. Then tuongee.
Now let's go back and talk about Kalonzo Musyoka. And this is why I think his biggest mistake was visibility.
Kalonzo, you are lazy, bro.
Politics rewards movements. People want to see you every day, every week, every month. I want you to look at Sifuna. He's everywhere. One day he's on a rally, the next he's on television, the next day he's doing a press conference. And then there's also the Senate floor. There's always something happening. Now I want you to look at Rigathi Gachagua. Love him or hate him, the man is constantly in the news, on your screens. Whether it is the phone screen, the television screen, he's always there. He's always creating another conversation.
As a Leo, he has come up with another con game deception. Very big one tonight. Ameita ma-TV saa moja.
Now, in comparison, look at Kalonzo Musyoka. Have you seen the video? Have you seen it? He's sitting comfortably in his living room near a fireplace, anaota moto.
Wakenya, wewe unaota moto tu na kina Sifuna anazunguka Kenya nzima. Ndio. Wewe unaota moto. Kina Rigiji wanazunguka Kenya nzima, wewe unaota moto tu. Ndio. Unaota moto, unangoja tu kutangazwa uambiwa ati wewe utawania. Wewe endelea kuota moto.
Here's another interesting theory. There was a time that people were saying that Ruto was trying to pick his own candidates in the name of Kalonzo Musyoka.
Something to note is that in all the lineups proposed by the team, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka remains the most preferred presidential flag bearer to face Ruto at the ballot.
Some even argued that opinion polls were being manipulated to show that he's the favorite.
Of course, Edwin Sifuna comes a distance further.
You now see how that might actually be true. I mean, there's no way that Ruto would be comfortable facing Sifuna and Wanjigi on the ballot. He'd obviously want a weaker candidate, like Kalonzo.
Them, the two of them together, Wanjigi and Sifuna, it is the best thing that will happen to the opposition, if you ask me.
Okay.
And that means all these people decide and, wakaze kamba na waseme wacha tuendelee na hao vijana na Wanjigi.
Today, people are not debating whether Kalonzo should be president. They are not even debating whether he should become the deputy president. And I'm actually glad that that conversation is dead. Now, let's talk about something else, something that Kalonzo would actually affect. The Kamba votes. We've all had claims that President William Ruto and his people have been trying to reach Kalonzo Musyoka.
Tukicount kura za opposition, mimi personally am not counting the Kamba vote, and I am doing it deliberately.
How loyal is the Kamba vote to Kalonzo Musyoka? How loyal are they? Many people believe that the Kamba people are very loyal to Kalonzo Musyoka, that if Kalonzo Musyoka moves, a large part of that vote would actually move with him.
Kalonzo simuoni vizuri. Huyo mzae simuoni poa. Huyo mtu ndo atakuwa running mate wa Ruto in 2027. I am not sure whether the Kambas will follow him akijoin Ruto. Like for example, Wakikuyu, I'm 100% sure that Rigathi leo akisema ana join Ruto anaenda solo. Wakao sijui kama Ruto akisema anapewa running mate kama watafuatana naye huko. So that's why I'm not counting the Kamba vote.
So where does all this leave Kalonzo Musyoka? Honestly, I think the hardest part isn't about losing support. It's about losing momentum, because momentum is actually everything. Once people believe that you are rising, more people will join you, they will give you money, they will give you support, they will give you everything. But with the same breath, once people believe that you're actually falling, unakuja chini, unaanguka, many people start quietly walking away. That is just politics. And that is why I think Kalonzo Musyoka is actually in trouble.
Functional lazy. Ni kama nyoka mekula. He just slithers and rests. He waits for the right time when there's a crisis and pounces. Because of his neutrality, quote unquote, he pounces and then sits in the neutrality and benefits from it.
Now, for a bit, let's talk about money, because politics are not cheap. A presidential campaign needs two things: massive popularity, also massive resources. Ideally, you'd need both of them.
Sasa ile pay bill ulikuwa umelaunch pale kwa mtandao, uchangiwe pesa za kampeni ya 2027. Yani 48 hours ni ngiri 6 ilikuwa pale.
So does he expect that Gachagua is going to give him the votes and give him the money? That's crazy to even imagine.
Ndugu yangu Kalonzo anangoja apewe kura. Oh, you need some money. Oh, give him some money.
Now compare that with the other combination that people have been talking about. We have Sifuna, we have Wanjigi.
That is the new Kenya.
Sifuna brings growing popularity. Whether you agree or disagree, Sifuna's name is actually rising. Wanjigi brings the financial muscle. Wanjigi is a billionaire. It's no secret.
On day one, we shall stop the payment of debt.
Then imagine Gachagua adding Mount Kenya votes to that mix. Suddenly, you're looking at something that's going to be very difficult to defeat. Then add one more piece. Sifuna is also trying something unusual: small donations from ordinary wananchi.
I think as of today, we had, 6.5 million shillings on that pay bill number.
Wananchi are now contributing to politics, and that's magical. If the model grows, it changes the conversation even further. Again, I'm not a prophet, but also I'm not a fool either. Looking at the political pieces on the table, and from where I'm sitting, Kalonzo's goose is actually cooked. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Kalonzo comes back stronger than ever. Politics has surprised us before, and maybe it can surprise us again. But if you ask me today, I think the race has actually changed.
Hii kura yetu kupata ni kazi.
Kalonzo is no longer where many people thought he'd be 1 year ago. But that is just my opinion. Now, I want to know yours. Has Kalonzo Musyoka genuinely lost momentum, or are people writing him off too early? And one more question. How formidable is Sifuna Wanjigi ticket to you, or for you? Let's talk in the comments, and please do not forget to subscribe.